Right, you're a good girl. Good girl. All right, today's video is going to be teaching your dog to bark on command. The reason that I'm doing this video is because I have so many people worldwide that ask me how to get their dog to bark on cue. Whether it's for a trick or it's going to be for protection later. So since I do a lot of protection dogs, I get a lot of questions about this. People struggle getting their dogs to talk on cue. So this can go many ways. So I'm going to show you Khaleesi here in the video, the Malinois that I have on my YouTube channel.
Okay, thank you. I didn't
From puppy until her adulthood. But to start Khaleesi, we knew we were going to do protection when she was old enough. So when she was really young, I think she was 3-4 months old here in the video. So to start prepping her for later for her protection work, we started teaching her as a trick to bark on command. So I'm going to show you in this clip. We hold Khaleesi on a leash with a harness for no pressure on the neck at all. We want her feeling free, but when you're going to do these kind of exercises, the key is frustration. Frustration causes dogs to talk, or any other advanced exercises. Frustration's the key to a lot of things. So if she's too close to the owner, she's not going to talk. So we had someone hold the leash, had the owner back up a little bit and get some space, and with the hand, we're moving the hand with a treat to show activity, and when the gap opens up and we say the word, in this case Khaleesi's learning luge, Dutch word, because all her commands are in Dutch going into her protection work. So here he's teaching her luge and telling her to bark, and the moment that she starts out of frustration, rah, 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 we click and we treat it. So we're using a clicker for Khaleesi in her puppy stages. So you're going to see here, this is how you start this.
Luge! Luge! Luge!
There you go. All right. Good. Now, one thing here is important. You really have to try to control yourself, which is very difficult for most people. You want to say the word once, not luge, 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 right? Because then the dogs get into a habit of doing that, and then they start being quiet. If the word has a gap, right, the person's not continuing, the dog stops doing it until the person says it again and again. So in the end, we always want to have a one cue response in anything that we're doing. Whether it's sitting, downing, releasing something, it's always one shot, and we want the action done, or to maintain a behavior such as this. So here I was telling Ben to just say it once, and at the moment she starts talking repeatedly without having to say it again, we click and treat for the activity and the elongated barking to teach her to hold the barking until we say, yep, perfect. That's what we want, is you to just continue and continue and continuing, and right, until we say otherwise. Now, so you can repeat the word, but I would just go luge, and I let her do it. Yes, click treat. So this way it's not luge, 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 luge. because then she's going to make you have to keep retelling her forever to keep it going. Okay?
Crazy Luch!
And backwards then. Right, Now, we want her to stand. So you're going to come closer. Right? Now, step back. Now.
Luch!
Yes. Good. All right, now, so that was Khaleesi's puppy stage. Here, we're going to do a few things with Khaleesi now because we're going into her protection phase. So, in this part of the video, we have her favorite thing in the world, a ball. She loves to play with a ball. That is her favorite thing in the world. So, we're going to use the ball to our advantage and have her speak to the ball that's on the floor. Now, what we're doing here is it's a complex exercise. So, one, Khaleesi doesn't have a leash on. She needs to get next to the owner and hold that heel with no leash and her favorite thing in the world on the floor. And on command, we're going to tell her to talk to the ball. And when she talks enough, we'll release her from the position to go get the reward for talking on cue.
Luch. Yes.
Good. And then here, I want more talking. I want to extend it. And then the next one, make her go over a little bit.
Here. Close.
Now, what I want you to do is, right, because she's going to go into the links, right? And then from there, and tell her and let her hold a little bit while you tell her.
Luch.
Yeah.
Luch. Yes.
Okay. It's perfect, right? So she'll just keep talking and talking and talking, and it's only said once the word. So we just wait and we hang in there to just make sure she keeps going until we give the yes word, click, whatever you're using, right? That she's allowed to go get the ball. Okay, so just like that. So this time, Ben, luge, and we wait. And we just wait for a good amount of talking and energy to the ball. And so the conflict here is Khaleesi having to hold that heel position, frustrated, knowing she can't leave it. She cannot just leave the heel and go grab the ball just because she's dying for the ball. Against the rules. So, we're playing a highly structured game doing this, right? No leash to control her. She has to control herself, right, in that heel. And when she talks on cue and holds position in frustration, she will get her reward. Now, going further, this is going to come in for protection. So when we start putting a decoy out there and we go luge, she's going to rah, 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 rah next to the leg and have to hold her position because in my system with protection dogs, I do not want any craziness or out of control dogs when they don't have a leash on and just start flying at people and biting them when they were not told to do it. So we're using this ball for Khaleesi and this heel game as a huge mental game for her to be able to control herself and do what she's told while being frustrated. So she has to think of several things and stay in mode with several things and do it right. Perform it, and she will get what she wants. Right? So we're teaching massive control with this. Now, here, we're going to make this harder. Khaleesi is now going to go into her heel. She's going to be told to bark at the ball. And Ben, the owner, is going to walk backwards, and she's going to have to heel backwards in rhythm with him with no leash on and talk to the ball while she's trying to hold Ben's rhythm of heeling. So she's going to be locked between holding her command of heeling and talking at the ball when she was told, doing two things at the same time, and not flying out for the ball because she's frustrated. She has to be patient and wait and hold her two things at the same time perfectly to be released to go get the ball. All right, now, let's try. You're gonna put it, Ben? Mm-hmm. Tell her to do it, and go backwards. Okay. And as we go back, what you do there is, yes. Okay. Right, you're a good girl. Good girl.
Yes. Like that?
Yeah. So we're gonna do a straight line back. Okay. And when she's talking like that, perfect.
Close.
If she stalls, good, very good. Yeah, and that talking all the way back, perfect. Because as you're going back, she's trying to hold two things. Rawr, rawr, but she's trying to stay with the links. Yeah, very good.
Where are you going? Close. Same thing?
Let's try, let's do one more of those straight back. Same thing.
Close. Close.
Tap, tap. Good. That's perfect. This is Khaleesi's first day ever trying the walking backwards and barking at the ball at the same time. So what you just saw there, those 3 times we just did it were the only 3 times we've ever done it. Fantastic for the first time. I mean, perfect. She didn't try to fly off. She kept her rhythm. Going backwards, she could have been a little closer to the leg, but just a small minor tweak, and that'll take one more day to get her a little closer and just teach her that. But overall, fantastic. I mean, just exactly what we want is that control. And then we send to the ball. Now here, this is the first time we're gonna do this right after we just did the ball exercise, same day. So we're gonna start her protection stuff with teaching her how to hold that leg. Now it's gonna be the decoy, not the ball, right? So this was maybe 15 minutes later after we did that exercise. So you're gonna see Ben here, we're gonna put a leash on Khaleesi and just lightly guide her the first day with the decoy, only because the decoy is harder, way harder than the ball. There's activity from the decoy and this confrontation and conflict, which makes it harder for the dog to hold themselves and concentrate. So we don't know what Khaleesi's gonna do here, so when we filmed it, we just had the leash on just in case, but she did it fantastic. Now, go on. So the next video I'll show is her doing all her stuff without the leash on and doing her protection work while holding the heel and all the structure and control to that. So I just want to give you an example of what you can do with a bark. If you want to just make it into a trick, you can just make it into a trick. The bark on command is a cute thing. For us, we're using it for later stages of a way higher level of focus, concentration, and we want it as a threat. So people who just want to have their dog bark at people without ever biting, this is what we'll do for clients if they don't want the biting. They just want, if anything ever happens, for the dog to bark at somebody on cue aggressively, but not without the bite. So that's how we teach it, and we'll transfer to an object like Khaleesi with a ball. Then we'll just have somebody stand there after they understand that and go, bark, watch, whatever the word would be, and at somebody, and then we just shut them off and we give them reward, but there was no real threat to the person. It just looked like a big show, you know, to scare somebody. So many versions to the bark on command. So just want to show you the version that we're doing here with Khaleesi of how we're going about this and how we started it, how we're using it now. So if you have a dog that you're going to do that with, you just use anything of high frustration that your dog loves. And one word of advice, restrain the dog, tie him up to something, and get frustration, move the object if you want to get your dog talking on cue. Could be a toy, a food reward, whichever one is stronger for your dog. Just make sure that they're away from you when you're going to teach it and you cause that frustration. Till next time, Miami Dog Whisperer.